Hi, I'm Patrick Convery. He's Joe Mullings, and this is the Dirty Dozen. All right, this is session number 12 of the Dirty Dozen, and we're going to get our hands dirty in this one, Joe. This topic, in the weeds, tactical best practices. These are things people come to me all day, every day about. A few of these bullets we might have covered in previous sessions, but I kind of want to summarize all of the tactical, let's just say, stuff here. So this is a fun one. If we have a one-person company, so one owner with a company page, can you reiterate what is the best practice as far as where to post? Company page, personal page, how often, if they're posting to both platforms, what does that cadence look like?
Sure. So if you had to choose, if you had to make a choice, it's always on the individual page. People follow people and then brands. So I would say that I would post industry information on the company page. I would once a week try and gather 10 to 12 headlines. And that would drive my content at a very top level on my LinkedIn company page. Mm-hmm. On my individual page, I would get more micro with that. I would get a lot more down. I may take that same article. So you can use that same article and then say from a career perspective, what I would be doing if I was an individual based on this data. Whereas on the LinkedIn company page, I would say broadly what was happening relative to that data if you had the energy to do both.
Yeah. Excellent advice. Thank you. I get that question all the time, so that just helped a lot of people.
Yeah, inspirational, aspirational, very specific career advice should always be on the individual page. On the company LinkedIn page, it should be industry information.
Boom.
Yep.
All right, the next one, posting content versus sharing content. So if you have, let's use a YouTube video, for example, talk a little bit about the LinkedIn algorithm and how it responds to external hyperlinks, and how do you navigate that?
Yeah, so look, LinkedIn's like any platform, they don't want you to leave. Mm-hmm. And so the algorithm is less than desirable if, especially in the body of your post, if you post an external link on there that takes you away. If you want to put an external link on your posting, my recommendation is in the body of the 1,300 characters, say link in comments. And as soon as you post it up, boom, hit it there, and it'll appear and say, full link here, boom, and then you have your link. So that'll keep you right on the page in regards to not getting punished otherwise by the algorithm.
Good stuff. What about hashtags? What's your stance on using hashtags in your posts?
I do believe the data is more than 3 or 4 hashtags you get punished for. Mm-hmm. I see people with dozens of hashtags. If everything's important, nothing's important. Right. So I'm not a fan of hashtags. I don't use them. Do I think they have some value? Yes, there's something called LinkedIn Sales Navigator that I do believe you can follow hashtags. So you need to look at LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It's not that expensive, especially for our business. It allows you to get all the clutter out of your LinkedIn posting and allow to only the people specifically that you want to follow come up on that feed. It's very powerful. We'll probably do a piece on it, subsequently after this. So answering the question, I don't use them. If you do use them, only use 3.
Yeah, and my advice is do your research before you use a hashtag. See how many people are utilizing that. Click on it and see what kind of what kind of content's associated with that hashtag. Just make sure it's a relevant audience. And I do like to, if I use one, I always do a brand hashtag. So if I'm posting to the company page, hashtag this is MRI, to leave a trail of MRI content. So if new eyeballs see it, what's this MRI all about? They click on it, and now it's an opportunity for everybody to add to that content trail.
Fair enough.
But then, like I said, I start wide. So I might start with a broad industry, and then if I'm running a desk, then I start to get more focused with the hashtag, going to maybe the hashtag that's relevant to the position I'm trying to fill. Mm-hmm. So that's my advice on hashtags. I think it's 5. You get penalized. Never go over 5 on LinkedIn. I think 1 to 3 is that sweet spot, definitely. Oh, and if you don't use one, not the end of the world. Yeah. They're also great. Hashtags are great for doing research. just to find new sources, find new connections, search hashtags, not just to make sure they're appropriate to use in your own post, but to find new people and new companies to work with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Something that drives me crazy, Joe, unnecessary, I call them tag trains. Every now and then, somebody will tag me in a post, and I look at the post, and there are 15 other people tagged in it, and I have nothing to do with the content. I have no interest in the content. It has nothing to do with marketing, media, branding, staffing, recruiting. They're just putting me on there to try to gain some visibility. Do you see that? Does that happen to you?
A lot. Listen, it's a compliment.
Yeah.
If that's the biggest issue I have on LinkedIn, I'm pretty lucky. So look, don't do it. Have some class to your tags.
Yep.
Have some forethought to it. If you're going to get carried away, I would do it I've done it a few times in the comment field, but it had intention to it, and I do believe every single person I tagged. It was when we did the other side, when we first, when the first COVID came out on Marco and I and another person were in the office on a Sunday coming up with the idea of the other side. I reached out to 40 CEOs in the medtech industry, and I believe I did it also on LinkedIn and tagged them in the comment field. But it was for a greater good. It wasn't self-serving for me.
Yeah, and you've done it where you've tagged me in the comments, but
where appropriate.
Yeah, the content was relevant, and
Where
I learned from
appropriate.
it. Yeah. So that's my advice to people watching. Don't go overboard tagging. Make sure it's appropriate, and make sure if you're doing it to start a conversation with somebody. Hey Joe, check this out. I think there's a ton of value here for you. That's great, but stop the tag trains, please. One other thing, photos. We talked a little bit about this. The stock imagery, these posed professionals in these office environments, get rid of them. Joe, you offered some advice on hiring a photographer or somebody who might be in school, a couple $1,000s to just go and take some photos.
Yeah, be careful on the photos you use in the office too. Nobody wants to see your cubicle farm. Nobody wants to see the pictures of the Hershey Kisses on your desk. They're sending you checks for $30,000, $40,000. Let them have their romantic thought about you sitting, as I said, in Mahogany Row.
Yeah.
Be super careful of not overplaying your Donut Friday in your office. LinkedIn is not the appropriate platform for that.
One thing I want to talk about is photos. It's really the graphics. If you are creating a graphic to promote an article or a piece of content you're pushing out, I'm okay with that if it's clean, if it's done professionally. But I say use the billboard approach. Treat your LinkedIn feed like a highway, and people are speeding down that highway 80 miles an hour. With a billboard on the side of the highway, you have about, I think it's 6 words to grab somebody's attention. So keep your graphics short, sweet, to the point, get people hooked there. Often I see graphics on LinkedIn with a ton of super tiny content. That's where you use the post, use the breadcrumb. If you have content you need to get out there, you have an important message, write it in the post. Use the graphic as a graphic, not as another vehicle to write a novel.
People abuse that. You don't even have to go to LinkedIn for that. We've all sat through, and this is the analogy, is we've all sat through the PowerPoint slide in the conference room where you can't even read the goddamn content on it, and then to make it worse, the person feels compelled to read the slide to you.
Yeah.
That's very similar to an insanely dense graphic on LinkedIn.
Oh, and they tell you, I know you can't read this, but well, then why'd you put it together? Right. I have one pet peeve on LinkedIn, and then I'm going to ask you for yours, some things that might drive you crazy because you spend a lot of time on there. For me, it's seeing grown men and women using emojis in their headlines to call for attention. To me, it's amateur, it's childish. That's just my thing. I can't stand it. Drop the emojis. We're adults. It's LinkedIn. What do you see that drives you insane on LinkedIn?
Yeah, make sure you get some counseling on that. It's odd that drives you crazy, but there are so many other things to worry about, Pat, but everybody's got their thing.
That's it. That's mine.
God, There's really nothing that drives me crazy on LinkedIn, and I'll tell you why. Everybody's entitled to their approach. I don't, I don't have to agree with their approach, and I can. That's what the scroll button's for, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I'm saying that because, I've been aggressively pursued on LinkedIn because of the way I do things, and I say to them the same thing. And look, I'm sorry it bothers you, but just scroll by, bro. But I feel sad for the person who feels like they have to stop on my post and then blab something into the comment field that is like attacking personally. I have no problem with you attacking my idea. I'm totally cool with that. That's why I put it out there. I want conversation. There are people who attack me. That's part of the game that you're going to be on LinkedIn. You got to get over it. And I actually have sympathy for them, not even empathy, sympathy for them, because they took that much time and they have that much hate for me to type it out, and now I own them the rest of the day because they're thinking about how much they dislike me or what I put out there. So there's not a lot that at all on LinkedIn that I would say like I lose sleep over. I'm like, look, that floats your boat. That floats your boat. Go for it, man. So that's my approach on it. So I wish I had a hotter answer for you, but that's the answer I have.
Yeah, there are always going to be haters. If you're going to put content out there and put yourself in the spotlight.
You don't get to choose people's responses.
Yeah, but I want to prepare people for that because not everybody has the mental toughness, or they might think it's all, sunshine and unicorns when you go and you push content out.
I didn't say it didn't bother me.
But you keep moving forward.
I didn't say it didn't bother me.
I hear the control room laughing right now.
I did not say in my comment it didn't bother me. I just try not to pay attention to it, and the way I manage that is to have sympathy for the challenges that they have. Because I can have 999, dude, that was the smartest thing I ever read, and the one outlier, is like personally attacked me, not my idea. I don't mind the attack of the idea.
You're right.
And did that stick in my head? Yeah, but
We move forward.
I move forward.
And that's the thing, because I think there are a lot of people who this whole world is new to them. They're going to start putting out content. It's bound to happen. You're going to get feedback or something.
Don't post
that
if you're a
hurts.
snowflake.
That's right.
Don't post if you're a
That's
snowflake.
right. You can't melt down on LinkedIn. So, all right. I am Patrick Convery, Joe Mullings. This has been the Dirty Dozen. Listen, if you want to put emojis in your LinkedIn headline, go for it. I'm not a fan of it, but I'm not going to attack you personally for doing so. Joe.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
You got
It's been
it.
a pleasure.
Thanks.